Cam Ward was drafted #1 overall in the 2025 draft, but despite that, no one has really talked about why he was. Sure, people were saying he has the arm strength and arm talent and the likes of Josh Allen, but that's not the only reason why NFL teams were drooling all over him. The reason they were is because Cam Ward has two special traits that we have not seen since the likes of Andrew Luck, ones that are arguably the best to have in a quarterback. What are these special traits exactly? Well, that's what we talk about in this video by going into the film and also talking about what he does really well mixed in. To really put into perspective of what is so special about Cam Ward, we need to go back briefly to what made Andrew Luck a generational quarterback when he first entered the NFL. Luck in his first year threw for 4,662 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 19 interceptions, and had an adjusted completion percentage of 67.4%. Well, that's a lot of yards. 23 touchdowns and 19 interceptions is pretty terrible, along with one of the worst quarterbacks for accuracy in the NFL that year. But why were people saying he was the second coming of Peyton Manning and that he was going to be a slam dunk elite quarterback? You might think it's because he led a previous 2-14 team to a wildcard showing as a rookie. Well, that's kind of right, you would be wrong. What Andrew Luck did was set fire to everything, and not in a good way. But then he would put the fires out and lead a comeback. What I mean is that he would go throw multiple interceptions and then proceed to lead the offense back, putting up big time throws and putting his team back into winning position. This is such a valuable trait and a rare trait for a quarterback, and matters most when it comes to facing playoff teams, because the likelihood of having a perfect game that's clean all the way through is just unlikely. So being able to come back from those bad plays is so important, and it's what holds back quarterbacks from just being a great quarterback to being an elite one. And this trait is what Cam Ward has and does extremely well. I've been very critical of the decisions he's made in his college film, but coming off those bad plays, he drives down the field the next drive or soon after to make up for it. So let's look at a couple of these fires that he started, but then responded by putting them out and coming back to score. We're starting out with hot potato. For coverage, it's going to be cover 3 by Virginia Tech. Ward's going to look to his right and see the out route open. He passes it up to look for this receiver that is blanketed up, so Ward tries to take off from the chaos of the pocket, but he then gets engulfed by the big boy and gets dragged down. Now, you would think that'd be it, just a couple yard gain and nothing else to it. But what Ward does wrong here is that he fumbles the ball by trying to do too much. And because of it, Virginia Tech gets the easy 3-play scoring drive, 7-0. Now it's Cam Ward's turn. After 3 back-to-back runs in the following drive, Ward's left with it now being first down. The coverage is going to be cover 3, with the receiver you want to pay attention to being this guy in motion. Ward takes the snap, acts like he's throwing the screen, but then looks to his target. Usually this ball is a no-go, or at least just very risky. At the safety here has plenty of time to come intercept this or break it up. However, he's going to somehow completely blunder this and be a non-factor. But Ward was anticipating that he would be, so that's why he puts some juice on this and lasers this in, with the DB making a great play and tipping it slightly. But the receiver still secures it. A big time throw to follow up the fumble, start a fire, put out the fire. But there's more. The very next play, Ward gets ballsy. Once again, we're looking at cover 3. Ward's going to look to his left to check out this side, and while there are some open options, Ward dismisses it as he's kind of like a shark. He just wants the big bites. So looking to the middle, he sees a tremendous opportunity right down the throat of the defense and sees his prey. With a good amount of time, Ward stays in the pocket and throws this ball on a frozen rope in between the 2 defenders for the touchdown. This is probably the best example of why he was picked #1 overall. It's his boldness and special playmaking ability. This next trait kind of goes along with what we just talked about. It is different, however, in that while the other doesn't always happen right away, this next trait is constant and seems to keep him from just flat out having a horrible game. The mental traits we first think of with quarterbacks are processing, toughness, decision making, personality, and lastly, not getting rattled. But to bring it up a notch, it's having amnesia. That is what Cam Ward has after making a bad play. This is different from what we talked about before, as it's one separate thing to set the fire and put it out or put someone else's fire. It's another thing to simply stop creating fires or continuing a barrage of awful plays. Ward will go out there and act like nothing has happened, and his play proves it. So we're going to look at an example of him with this amnesia and starting the fire, putting out the fire trait, but in a critical way that proves there's more potential than him just being another Jameis Winston. We're looking what seems to be cover 3, but in reality it will be disguised cover 1. Ward looks to his right to the out route and the goal ball opportunity. While the goal ball is not there, the out route is. And keep in mind, it is not third down. It's 1st and 10. Passing this up is an error by Ward, and we're going to see what follows. Ward looks to the middle, where this receiver is open, but Ward can't see it, so he escapes out of the pocket to his right just as the pocket collapses in. Looking downfield, he does have another open option to throw to, but he passes it up, looks to the left side, and sees a stray receiver with open space. The problem is, this isn't open, because these defensive backs are over here, definitely in range to pick this off. So Ward goes out of bounds and lives for another day, right? No. Instead, he YOLOs this, throwing across his body, being the big baller that he is, and throws to the opposite end of the field, with the safety sitting right there, fielding like a punt, that proceeds to take it in for the touchdown. A catastrophic error. But now the response. The coverage looks to be cover 3. But Cal is disguising what they're really playing. Post snap, it's actually cover 2. This is a third down situation, so Ward will need to make a difficult throw. And what he does is pretty smart. He looks to his right, almost holds the corner there, and then to the middle at the crossers. But Ward isn't holding on to this for crossers. He's waiting for the linebacker to come down to open up the already tight window more so he can throw a dart to secure the first down, which keeps this drive alive. Same drive, we are back to third down again. Coverage is looking to be cover 4, but again, Cal shifts to a different coverage, cover 3. Play caller probably meant for Ward to throw to this middle guy. It's just blanketed though. If Ward was panicking, he would have forced this. It's his amnesia trait though. What he's going to do instead is, while being under duress as an edge defender gets yoinked, Ward backpedals and sees a window as the receiver comes back down from the rounded comeback to the sideline to get away from the linebacker that is creeping back. It's nothing crazy, but it's an example of the poise Ward has and just not freaking out. Now it's 4 from 3, and Ward can't mess this up. The problem is, corner has inside leverage, which is going to make this throw more difficult. With the snap, the DB kind of messes this up with the hips flip to run deep to the receiver as the receiver attacks the outside shoulder at DB, but then cuts inside. He leaves just enough space for Ward to fit this in and secure the first down. That leaves us with 2 plays left. It's cover 0 before switching to cover 3. Ward will sense the pressure and step up into the pocket. Now, knowing Cam Ward is this hyper aggressive player, it wouldn't be surprising if he went for this hospital ball. Instead, he goes for this comeback route. He showed restraint and took the more quote-unquote correct option. Finally, it's cover 1 now, and with nothing open, Ward's going to have to make this happen himself. Running up through the pocket, Ward sees his man open to get the touchdown. He doesn't quite get there, but they get it in on the next play with a handoff to the running back. Those were not flashy plays by any means, but each one slowly led to a positive response shortly after the pick 6, proving Ward is capable of not forcing throws all the time and is in fact able to lead a realistic comeback. Additionally, every drive for Miami after this, they scored a touchdown and won the game by 1 point. It's not too often you see quarterbacks come out with these specific traits, and when they do, they usually go very high in the draft because it's that valuable. I love Cam Ward as a prospect in terms of his playmaking ability, big time throw prowess, and again, that amnesia trait he has. The things I didn't like about him were that he didn't exactly face top level defenses in college, and he made pretty poor decisions against the teams he did. He also played 4 full years in college, and the previous 3 years were pretty much volatile roller coaster gains, which is why my comp for him was Jameis Winston. It's also why I made a video on him potentially being a colossal disaster in the NFL, and the question you might ask is, why did I make this video then? Well, it's the traits we talked about, the arm strength and the arm talent and the leadership. It's incredible. I would be a fool to say that Cam Ward is just going to be this guaranteed bust, because that's just not it. He is a true boom or bust type of quarterback. Another thing too is that given all the traits he has, it will at least give him a floor where he might be like this Cam Newton type of quarterback, which in my opinion, Cam Newton was not elite as people thought. So Cam Ward's traits just give him such a high floor that I think he will be something in the NFL. I just don't know if he's going to reach that like top 5 threshold. I don't know. There is a guy, however, that is being faded as an elite quarterback of the past. I disagree with this narrative, as I still think Aaron Rodgers is an elite quarterback. Check out that video here, or check out the critical analysis of Cam Ward there, or if you want to see my 2024 rookie quarterback reviews, check out that video here.